Hi students, I am Dr. M. Ashraf Majroo, Professor of Community Medicine. I welcome you in the learning session of Health Education and Communication Skills. The highlights of today's discussion are objectives of communication in health care and health education, communication linkage in health organization, communication process, communication channels, communication barriers, essential skills of communication. Let us discuss one by one all these highlights. Objective of communication in healthcare are categorized according to the community physician and public health physician, clinician and healthcare providers. The community physician generally use the mass media or indirect way of communication through various programs, through various public health programs. These include primordial prevention of general population, behavioral change intervention in general population, and high risk groups. These are through well-designed health education program using mass media and print media, health promotion and health education programs, specific prevention of communicable and non-communicable diseases, motivation and counseling in maternity and child health and family planning, teaching and training of medical students. So the public health physician will use multiple medias, electronic and print media to run these programs for the public awareness and advocacy. On the other hand, the clinicians and healthcare providers, they usually need interpersonal communication skills because they are dealing with the patients and the clients. And the objective of learning communicable skills for clinicians and healthcare providers are the disease and prescription counseling, for explaining medical and surgical procedures, for acquiring the consent for the risky procedures, explaining the risk and benefits of the procedures, breaking bad news like cancer and deaths, follow-up counseling and feedback, teaching and training of medical students. So these are the objectives both for the community physician and the clinician and healthcare providers. So what are the communication linkage of healthcare provider in the organization and with the community? And the communication linkage of the healthcare providers are vertical as well as the horizontal. Let us discuss. These are the vertical linkage upward in the organization and towards the clients and the health recipients. In vertical linkage, upward vertical linkage, the healthcare provider encounters the strategic leaders, politicians, policy and planning wing of the organization and department of the health. And the objective of this vertical linkage is for the advocacy of the strategic level and providing the record and feedback of the healthcare services and providing the data for the planning and convincing the healthcare higher level healthcare providers for the needs of the population. On the other hand, the patient and clients, the healthcare settings, high risk community, general population, and medical trainees. These are the linkage on the lower side, and horizontal linkage include the social level with the non-government organization, community leaders, and community influentials. And within the organization, linkages are the health managers, engineers, medics, and support staff. So, at strategic level, advocacy for planning and program and resources needs, and on the client side, the service availability, patient provider linkage, service utilization, and medical education. Similarly, at the social level, the acceptability of the services, affordability, and service utilization. These are the objective of these linkage. And in organization, communication and coordination with the fellows, and service quality improvement with the coordinated work within the organization. So this is the communication and network of the healthcare provider within the organization, with the community, higher strategic level, and with the patient and clients. So how we define the communication? The communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. The desired outcome of or goal of any communication process is the mutual understanding. Every communication involves at least one sender, a message, and the recipient. This may seem simple, but communication is actually a very complex process when it is deeply analyzed. Let's analyze the process. When we analyze the components are now from 3 to now they are multiplied into the 12 components of the communication cycle. The communication cycle consists of message, sender, encoding, decoding, and channels of communication, the recipient, the barriers of the communication, feedback, encoding, then using the channel, and decoding and sender are the recipient. Here the messenger will be changed to when feedback is there, the messenger will be changed into the recipient. So these are the component of communication when it is analyzed. Now let us discuss the communication cycle. This communication cycle, how it operates. The communication cycle consists of a message. Message is actually in the mind of the sender. The sender objectively designed its message, and the sender encode this message in the form of the speech or in some verbal or written language. And after encoding, the messenger use some channels, either interpersonal communication, visual, print media, or electronic, and then this message is decoded by the recipient, and then the recipient frame the feedback in the form of the behavior or in the form of its attitude, or it may be direct communication to the messenger, and then the recipient encode its feedback, and then this feedback passes through some barriers, and then it is decoded by the messenger. Now it is converted into recipient. So this is the communication cycle. Start from the message, and that message is encoded, passes through some barriers through these channels, and then it is decoded and then received by the recipient. The recipient sends its feedback, and it is encoded, and then passing through some barriers, it is decoded, and then sender receive this feedback. Let us discuss what are this cycle, component of this cycle. The first is the objective of communication. The health messages depend upon the objectives of the individuals, organizations, where people have to inform, guide, and support specific behavior conducive to health. So in health organization, these communications, they are centered, client centered, and they are focused on the health issues. And these are awareness generation, health information, health education through motivation, advocacy, counseling, facilitation, guidance, healthcare availability, personal hygiene, personal protection, social distancing, human rights, obligation and responsibility of the clients and the providers. So these are the examples of objectives of communication and in context to health organization. Then sender are the messengers. The individuals, organization, or group of the people who intend to convey some message to the other individual or group or organization are defined as the messengers or sender. The example, the senders are the individual and groups, healthcare providers, community leaders, organization and workplace settings, institutions, schools, colleges, healthcare facilities, societies, societal groups, and social organization, entrepreneur or companies, industries. These are the senders of the messages. The messages is the translation of intended message into language, symbols or signs to be conveyed through the selected channels. And the messages include direct speech, written transcript or verbatims, letters, notification, memorandum, written messages, caution signs and messages, health education messages, code words, and non-verbal language, art and poetry. So these are the messages, and it is very difficult to differentiate between the messages and encoding. However, we can talk about the encoding. The definition of encoding is sender translate the message into a verbal and written language in the form of symbols, signs, or highly confidential codes used by the intelligence agencies, and the recipient first decode these messages before he rightly perceive and able to respond. So this is the definition of encoding of the message. Now you can see these are the encoded messages. This is the stop smoking. This is the no bottle feeding. And this is keep distance for 6 feet, fasten seat belts, and promotion for breastfeeding. So this is the type of encoding of the messages. And what is the coding we have discussed? What are the categories of senders? This is from the organization, and this is from the organization health authorities. This is from the health authorities. This is from the transport and police are custodians, and similarly the family planning and breastfeeding organization may be the custodian of this message. So different organizations have different messages and categories of senders. Who are the recipient? The recipient are the smokers in this category, and the mothers of the children are the recipient. And here the general population is the recipient. General population who are driving, they are recipient, and mothers are recipient here. What is decoding? Decoding is the in the form of certain behavior, and the response is in the improvement of breastfeeding and decrease in increase in quitting of smoking, and decreased in bottle feeding, and decrease the COVID-19 cases, and similarly decreased accident. So the responses, they can be differently translated. They may be measured in terms of the statistical terms. The barriers may be there. They may not be readable to certain communities who are not understanding English, and similarly these messages, if they are not placed on the right audiences, and this is how, if the person is not knowing what is the meaning of this sign, he needs training, the driver needs training, and they have to learn this sign. So these are the barriers. Through these messages, we can have the examples of the explanation of encoding and decoding messages. Then the recipient are recipients of the messages. Sorry. The recipient may be individual or group to whom the messages are being conveyed. And these are the individual, families, communities, high-risk vulnerable groups, educational institutions, workplaces, occupational settings, organizations, societal and cultural groups. These are the recipient of the messages. Then what is decoding of communication? When you decode a message, you extract the meaning of that message in a way that makes sense to you. Decoding has both verbal and non-verbal forms of communication. Decoding behavior without using word means observing body language and associated emotions. And now we will discuss the feedback. What is feedback? First, I will say that silence may be message, and it may be feedbacks. Silence can be coded and decoded as message and feedback. The response of the receiver to the sender of the message is called feedback. Feedback is your audience's response. It enables you to evaluate the effectiveness of your message. It is in fact message of the recipient to the sender, and it is encoded in some way as the messages are encoded, in the same way as the messages are encoded. It may be in verbal or non-verbal. It may be written or symbolized, gestures, emotions, and the behavior. Behavior is the feedback. This is the feedback in the communication cycle. Now, in communication cycle, what are the types of communication channels? The communication channels are divided into two types based on the channel of communication and based on the purpose of communication. In verbal and non-verbal communication, verbal are the oral, which is face-to-face or distant, and it may be in the form of written through print media and visual through screen media and digital media. On the other hand, non-verbal communication is through the facial expressions, gestures, body language, and behavior. The formal and informal communication include the workshops, formal communication, conferences, symposia, behavior, this is wrong, the letters and memorandum. And the informal communication consists of health talk, informal meetings, role plays, demonstrations, dramatization, and cultural festival. Now, this is the media web of the channels of communications. Here you can appreciate the large screen and the small screen, and here is the YouTube media, and here you see the emails, tutors, and then the print messages, and the WhatsApp, and so many digital medias you can appreciate. This is the web of the channels. Now it is used, and the importance is increased in this COVID era, that the channels or these channels of communications are now more frequently used as compared to the previously described channels. Then barriers in the communication is important to discuss. Any distortion, filtration, hindrance, blockage of the message between the sender and the recipient is defined as communication barrier. And the barrier include the physical barrier, that mean the related to sound, related to technical faults, and other barriers, technical barriers. Then linguistic barriers, the language may not be matching. The personal barrier mean the person's personal disliking, liking is also there, and the organizational barriers, the organizational environment or the communication channel, they may provide the hindrance in the communications. Then semantics barriers, these are the barriers of terminology. Buzzwords are there, abbreviations and jargons. Different jargons have different meanings. And then cultural barriers, emotional barriers, and environmental barriers, the gender barriers. These are the barriers. A number of examples can be given regarding the cultural barriers, emotional barriers, and the environmental barriers. This is the list of barriers which have to be mitigated during the communication. In interpersonal communication is very interesting to note. While the two people they are interacting, there is a filtering of information, and this is very important. The recipient filter the information according to his own priorities. Then the emotions are conveyed directly in interpersonal communication, and the bad gesture is the big barrier in interpersonal communication. Then information overload. The throwing of lot of information will annoy the recipient, and the overall national cultures of listening and responding to speech or communication is also very big barrier. It may be sportive. Similarly, the emotion may be a barrier and it may be supportive to the communication. And language may be barrier and it may ease the communication. And the defensiveness in interpersonal communication is very important, and the people, they become defensive. And they are not becoming impersonal during the interpersonal communication. So these are the barriers of interpersonal communication. Now, what we need for essential effective communications. For effective communication, active listening is very important. The people, they are sometimes responding without listening the other people. Then friendliness is key for effective communication. Open-mindedness is desired in communication, effective communication. And feedback, taking feedback and receiving feedback are both essential for the completion of communication cycle. The confidence and the non-verbal communication are very important in effective communication. Without any body language, the communication or face reading or facial expression, the communication is not effective. So these are the tips for effective communication in health education and for the healthcare providers. So in summary of today's discussion is that the communication skills are essential for both clinicians and community physicians. Choosing appropriate channel is essential for effective communication. The communication barriers must always be identified and mitigated. The feedback assessment are essential for monitoring of effective communications. Thank you for listening.